I'm continuing to read from my book, The Super Couple, A Formula for Extreme Happiness in Marriage. And so far I've read from part 1, which was what I thought I'd hear in these super couple interviews. Part 2 was what I actually heard super couples say were main ingredients in their super marriages. Today I am beginning part 3 of my book, which is what I didn't hear them say, things I expected to hear and didn't hear. If you are enjoying what you're hearing, please go ahead and like and subscribe to my channel. Share this video with a friend, especially one who you think could benefit by improving his or her marriage. And if you are able, please donate whatever you are able to afford. The link below, buymeacoffee.com. I would be forever grateful. And I do pray for all of my contributors because I couldn't function without you guys. And to get started, part 3 of The Super Couple, What I Did Not Hear. This chapter is entitled, Defining Love, What It's Not. It may surprise you to find out that when asked, what to you are the main ingredients of super couple marriages, not one super husband or super wife said love. Seriously, not one. Now, while this might first seem ridiculous, after devoting a bit of thought to this idea that love isn't what makes a couple extremely happy, it begins to make sense. After all, aren't all couples supposedly in love when they marry? So if love is what makes us extremely happy, then why would we ever stop loving? So why would we need a chapter to explain something that is not directly responsible for a super marriage? Easy. Because everyone else thinks that love is the answer. This chapter is about to answer that by digging deeply into and breaking down the concept of love for once and for all. This is great news because once we know what something is, in this case, love, only then are we able to pursue it, find it, and maintain it in all of our intimate relationships, all of them. And not just superficial love, but a passionate, faithful, and dare I say, spiritual love. Of the 3 basic tenets of adoration I mentioned chapters earlier, esteem, respect, and love, love is without a doubt the most problematic to define. This might seem a curious assertion to most readers, as certainly love is the most well-known of the 3, or so we think. Certainly love is one of the most used and discussed words and concepts in our societies, our homes, our workplaces, and our relationships. And undoubtedly love, along with its counterpart, happiness, is absolutely the most desired and sought after state of being for nearly every human being. However, this definition is the most problematic, not because the definition is too difficult to grasp, but rather because of one very obvious omission from the 21st century dictionary definition. You see, words appear and disappear because times change and, more importantly, ideologies change. Older words are no longer used because the symbols and ideas they represent are also no longer used. As such, when the words are just removed from the dictionary, consider a few words that are well on their way to extinction now, like 8-track, record player, and groovy. In other words, the words remain in our vernacular, but their meanings change. Love is one of those words. Dictionary definitions of the word love abound. In the most recent dictionaries of this 3rd millennium, love is defined as a profoundly tender, passionate affection for another person. Love is a feeling of warm, personal attachment or deep affection as for a parent, child, or friend. Here's another definition. Love is sexual passion or desire. Love is a person toward whom love is felt, a beloved person, a sweetheart. Or love is used in a direct address as a term of endearment, affection, as in, would you like to see a movie, love? Do you see the problem here? When compared to the words esteem and respect, which are defined as both nouns and verbs, a thing and an action, love now in this new and improved modern century is only defined as a noun, but it wasn't always that way. Now, before you Google this, I will share that dictionary.com does now list a definition of love that calls itself a verb, which grammatically speaking it is. However, the verbs of love that are listed are used only in conjunction with an object, signifying that love is not something that we do, but something that we have, which basically points it back to a noun. The definitions used are to have love or affection for, to have a profoundly tender, passionate affection for, to have a strong liking for, to take great pleasure in, to need or require, benefit greatly from. In these definitions, love is still listed as an object, a noun, something that we possess, much unlike the definitions of respect or adoration, which requires you and me to actually do something to or for another person. So again, love is quite possibly one of the most often spoken words in the English language and probably most every other major language. Certainly in most every Western nation, this would seem to hold true. And so as a researcher, I must admit that I was astounded to note that among the plethora of dictionary definitions of the word love offered, not one single definition of the word love as a verb was listed. The implications for this are tremendous in terms of our modern conceptions of love, especially as it relates to marriage. But before I begin to break down the definition of what love is, let me share with you what love is not. And I'm going to do that next time. It's really interesting, and I think you should pay attention to this. I don't want it to get too heady, but we must understand that we twist up definitions to match what we want instead of actually knowing what a thing is. Because if we don't know what love is, we can't go after it, and we certainly can't attain it. So pay attention to this video and the next couple videos talking about love, because you too can have it once you see what it is. I'm Dr. Christine Bacon. Thanks for watching this Bacon Bit. And as always, please remember to live your life sunny side up.